Text 33. Translation and commentary by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder of Acharya. Aksharanam akarosmi Dvandvasamasi tasya aham eva kshayakaro Dhataham vishvato mukhaha. Translation of letters. I am the letter A. It will be A in Sanskrit. And among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time. And of creators, I am Brahma. The fourth, Akara, the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, is the beginning of the Vedic literature. Without Akara, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of sound. In Sanskrit, there are also many compound words, of which the dual word, like Rama Krishna, is called Dvandva. In this compound, the words Rama and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is called dual. Among all kinds of killers, time is the ultimate because time kills everything. Time is the representative of Krishna because in due course of time, there will be a great fire and everything will be annihilated. Among the living entities who are creators, Brahma, who has 4 heads, is the chief. Therefore, he is a representative of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Aksharana Makara Sri Bandha Samasi Vasya Amevakshayakaro Dhataham Vishvatomukaha. Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. Om Jnanatamidam Hasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshiram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. This chapter is known as the Vibhuti Yoga chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in which Lord Krishna explains his Vibhutis. In other words, everything wonderful we see is a representation of Krishna. Everything is Krishna in one sense. Nothing is separate from Krishna. Shakti, Shaktimata, Abheda. In Vedanta Sutra it's stated that the energy and the energetic are in one sense non-different. Not in every sense. But in one sense, because the cause, the energetic is the cause, and the effect, which is the energy, they're intimately related. There's no energy without the source of the energy. There's no electricity without the powerhouse. So in one sense we can say the electricity and the powerhouse, they are non-different due to intimate relation. So in one sense Krishna is everything. Not in every sense. Those who are Kevala Advaitavadi, followers of Shankaracharya, they say that everything is one in every sense. There's no difference. Nirvishesh. They are called Nirvisheshvadis. They see no difference between anything, which is nonsense. I mean, even without going into so much big philosophy, it's quite obvious that I am not you and you are not me and we are not all the same. And I am not God. They say everything is all one. I am God. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Supreme. Foolishness. You are not the Supreme. You have to go to work in some miserable factory and you think you are Supreme. You get toothache and you are Supreme. Nonsense. So here Krishna is explaining his vibhutis, the representations of Krishna's opulence. Krishna's opulence is unlimited. How How can we understand Krishna, who is unlimited? We can't. Even Krishna himself can't fully understand his own greatness. But we can begin to appreciate. That is called Krishna consciousness. To appreciate Krishna. We can't fully appreciate Krishna. We are jiva, we are limited. We cannot accommodate the unlimited within our consciousness. Just like within material example, we can't put an elephant in a teacup. It's too big. So Krishna's glories, we cannot fully accommodate them within our minds. But Krishna is giving some beginning way we can understand it. By explaining how everything wonderful that we see, what is a representation of Krishna? Actually, everything we see is Krishna. A devotee of Krishna sees Krishna everywhere, everything in Krishna. And in this way, he always remembers Krishna. Just like we have also in Gita, Krishna says, Shabda Ke, I am the sound in ether. So even this horrible sound we have of all the traffic going past, if you remember, that's also in one sense a representation of Krishna, because it cannot exist without Krishna. That's also Krishna. That is, so all of our senses, if we see everything we see Krishna is there, everything in Krishna. Yamam pashatu sarvatra sarvam chamaya pashatu visyaham na pranashami sachamay na pranashati. Krishna says, one who sees me and everything in me, I am never lost to him and he is never lost to me. So Krishna is giving us the beginning where we can see him. Krishna is in everything, Krishna is everything. And then when we come to understand also that not only how Krishna is everything, but how Krishna is above everything, and how I'm the servant of Krishna, then our real Krishna consciousness begins. Rupa Goswami has explained that there are 5 rasas in approaching Krishna: Shantaras, Dasyaras, then Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. But the real sense of Krishna consciousness begins from Dasyaras, the sense of service to Krishna. And other rasas, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras, simply when the sense of service is increased, then we have the higher rasas. They are based on service. You know, we have some visitors here with Sri Vaishnava Tilak. So we know in the Sri Vaishnava tradition, the term Kainkarya is very important. What is the aim of the Vaishnavas? Following Ramanujaracharya, their idea is simply to be the servant, is it not? The aim is to achieve Kainkarya, the position of being Kinkara, Vishnu Kinkara, Bhagavat Kinkara. We want to be the servant of Krishna. The idea is to become the servant. And then, all these rasas, sometimes you're very interested, what is Madhurya rasa? But they're all based on service. Why Radharani is considered the topmost devotee? Because her aradhana, her service to Krishna is the most. So service, before that comes Shantaras, which is appreciation of Krishna. First there's appreciation, and as the appreciation increases and knowledge increases, we understand that Krishna is so wonderful, Krishna is so great, I should serve him. So in the beginning there's appreciation, God is great. And then as that appreciation increases, then we think how to serve him. Then Dasyaras begins. So the beginning stage is Shantaras, to appreciate the greatness of God. So that's being discussed in this chapter, how we can begin to appreciate the greatness of God. In this chapter, Krishna has given some examples. Stadararam, Himalaya. Among the movable objects are in the Himalayas.
Who has been to the Himalayas? You must have been, Maharaj. Who has been to the Himalayas? You've been. All the foreign devotees have been, not the Deshis, only the Videshis. Who has been to the Shivalaya Hills or Nilgiris? They're not very impressive. Himalaya is very big mountain. If you go, you drive up. Previously people used to walk, now we drive. They go up, after driving all day, you come to Badrinath and you still see them. You've already gone up so high and the mountains go so high much further. Very impressive. So if you see a big hill like the Himalayas, you can remember Stavaranam Himalaya. This is represent when we see, big hill, very impressive. If you have a cyclone, you don't get so much here. In Andhra you get more. Orissa, Bengal. It's very impressive if you're inside. If you're outside, it's very frightening. If you're in a strong stone building, you see how if you're in Bengal in the summer, Vaishakhi Joy, you'll find all day very hot. Very hot. Then at the end of the day, all of a sudden, everything becomes very quiet and still. In 5 minutes later, tremendous storm. So many trees are blown down. All the banana trees get flattened. Tremendous. All the windows start slamming. So this is all. You can begin to appreciate Krishna in the greatness of nature, in his vibhuti. Krishna is teaching that we'll find in the next verse. Mrityu sarva halascha. I am death, which takes away everything. Death is very powerful. You see a great Napoleon, Hitler, great conquerors, but at the end they were conquered by death. Just the same thing. Just like any ordinary person, they have to die. So these are all representations of Krishna. Now in this verse, Krishna is saying that Aksharanam Akarasmi, that I am among all the letters, I am the A. In English we write the letter A. In Sanskrit that's Akar. So this is the basis of language. Without the syllable, we can't pronounce. That's why you have all the phalas in Sanskrit. Kafala, Yafala, Yaf. You can't say. In English you say A, B, C. You say D. You can't say. You can't pronounce a consonant without a vowel. Now, can you try and say that? Try and say B or B without a vowel. You can't do it. However short you make it, you have to pronounce a vowel. So the vowels are sent. The first is A, Aka, In Tamil also, what's the first one? Seems in all languages, even in English. So this gives a clue that actually all sounds are Krishna also. Means all sound is meant for glorifying Krishna. The Vedas, they are known as Shabda Brahma, Shabda. Shruti, that which is heard, sound. So sound, that is non different from Krishna, that is meant for glorifying Krishna. So especially a devotee who's a pure devotee of Krishna, then naturally what sound will come? He's not going to be talking about tennis match or cricket match or cinema. He likes to talk about Krishna. And all the Vedas, they are simply glorifying Krishna. Vedi, Ramayana, Chaiva, Purana, Bharata, Gita, Adav, Ante, Janadvecha, Hari Sarvatra Gita. In all the Vedas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, simply Beginning, middle and end glorifying Krishna. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had a school, Pathshala. He was teaching Sanskrit. So then he explained every syllable, every letter, every word simply means Krishna. Because Yomam Ashati Sarvatra, one who sees Krishna everywhere, he sees everything in relation to Krishna. Everything is non-different from Krishna. I was just now going through with Vanu Maharaj the Balabhadra Sahasranama, 1,000 names of Baladev. So you find so many names there like Vasuki, Jambudvi, Chalatala, Patala. So Vasuki is the snake. You'll find here also in this. Chalatala, Jambudvi, these are all different parts of the universe. So how is that a name for Balaram? He's non-different. He's non-different. Everything is Krishna. Prabhupada also, he installed some deities. When we think of names of Krishna, we have deities. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Giridhari, Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama. In London, Prabhupada made the deity Radha Landanishwara. And in Paris, Radha Parisishwara. Pari, in French they say Pari. Radha Pari Ishwara. Now how can you say? If you look in the Shastra, you won't find any such name. London Ishwara. You don't find in the Vishnu Sahasranama any such name. London Ishwara. But he is. That name London is some name of some lectures city which is being built up by the lectures, mostly by stealing from India so many things. So it's not a very glorious place. Now it's glorious because Krishna is there. And that name has become Krishna's name. So London is glorified. You will find so many demons, rascal, Keshi, rascal demon. But Krishna's name is Keshi Ha. So his name has become Krishna's name. Palambari. Palamba is a rascal demon, but he was killed by who? Palamba was killed by who? Krishna Ma. Balaram. So one of Balaram's name is Palambasura, Chanarari, Kamsari. These are all names. Daityari is the name of Vishnu. He kills the Daityas. So they also, in one sense, they become glorified because they're remembered in relation with Krishna. So in this way, Krishna is purifying everything. Even we say in English language, Vechabhasha. That sound is also Krishna. Not such a nice representation. In the Bhavishya Purana it said that in the Kali Yuga, all the Brahmanas will give up speaking Sanskrit and speak Vechabhasha. So that we're saying, Brahmanas so-called, they're not speaking Sanskrit. Panditaha Sanskritam Navadanti. Even the Pandits, they're studying, but they don't speak. But they're all very English very nicely. English is Vechabhasha. But that sound, English language, that's also representation of Krishna now, especially, because Prabhupada made all these books in English. Most important books. We have so many commentaries in Sanskrit and so many things. Who's going to read such things nowadays? Who's going to understand? Also, I was discussing this afternoon with Vanu Maharaj. He's translating Chaitanya Shikamrita from Bengali. So there are so many discussions at different festivals. People used to follow Just like this Shitala in Bengal, Shitala Puja and Bratri Puja, still in North India that's very popular, the Bhai Dooj, Navan, so many festivals. Even in Bengal they don't follow them, not to speak of all over the world, in America. Who's going to follow so many things? So practically Prabhupada has given us, in his books, that which is very much relevant. Even much of the Shastra that may not be very much relevant to everybody in the modern age. I mean, the Vyasadeva made it. Within Kali Yuga, you just chant Hare Krishna and read Prabhupada's books. Even we see how many people go and reading Prabhupada's books. It's a big thing if you say, you should read Prabhupada's books. Srimad Bhagavatam, it's quite big. People don't have the appetite. They're just used to reading comic books and watching TV. If you ask them to read so much philosophy, they're, how many people are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam? Newspaper they can read. The Srimad Bhagavatam, who's got the patience to read all of that? Those who have good intelligence, they can read. So then what to speak all the different Shastras? Who's going to read so many Puranas, commentaries, Vedanta Sutra, so many things? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru said, Murkatumi Tamarna Vedanta Bhaka, Krishna Mantra Japa Shada, He Mantra Shah. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ishvara Puri told him that you're not a fool, he's God. There's Nimai Pandit, he defeated Keshav Kashmiri. But just to show what is the position for Kali Yuga, the ordinary people, Ishvara Puri told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're a fool, you're not fit for studying Vedanta. Just chant Hare Krishna. This is the essence of all these Shastras, chanting Hare Krishna. Sarva Mantra Sarvanam Shastra Nama. This Krishna Nam, that is the essence of all the Vedas. When you study all the Vedas, you come to the conclusion what? Chant Hare Krishna. That's the conclusion. You go through everything. If you try to go through all the Vedas, then you become simply a bookworm. If you read Prabhupada's books, like this Bhagavad Gita, you get the essence immediately. That's why we're seeing so many people all over the world. They're not Vedanta scholars, but they read Bhagavad Gita as it is and they chant Hare Krishna, which is the essence of all the Vedanta. And you find a few people in India, they're trying to study the Vedanta, the Upanishads, this and that, and they didn't come to the point. They're trying to understand what is all Vedanta, and this Veda, and that Veda, this commentary, and that commentary, and meanwhile, someone in Amazon jungle is chanting Hare Krishna, or in the New York jungle, London jungle, concrete jungle, full of wild animals supposed to be human beings. They're chanting Hare Krishna. They're not big Vedanta. They're not Vedanta scholars. But they're the greatest Vedanta scholars because they're chanting Hare Krishna. They came to the point. And if you study all different Vedas and so many different things, and you don't chant Hare Krishna, then you're not in such a good position as when you studied all the Shastra, who didn't study all the Shastra and is chanting Hare Krishna. Because that is the essence of all the Shastra. Then you may ask, why did I still wrote all these things? Well, that's just to satisfy you. Otherwise, actually the Vyasadeva didn't have to write all the Shastras. He could just write chant Hare Krishna. That's finished. He doesn't have to write anything else. In Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Namo Nastu, Nastu, Nastu. Gati Vandita, just chant Hare Krishna. Then why he's writing so many things? It's just because people may have so many doubts and this and that, so they won't believe it. So if you don't believe it, alright, we have so many commentaries, Baladev Vidya Bhushan is given, Jiva Goswami is given, all the different acharyas are given, all of it, especially Jiva Goswami has made the analysis of all the different Shastras in his Samvargas, and the conclusion is chant Hare Krishna. Another reason Vyasadeva is compiling, especially he compiled this Bhagavatam, Saram Saram Hrida Haritam. Nirmakalpatura Galitam Valam Shukamakaram Javasamritam Vivati Bhagavatam Sanalayam Yahora Rasika Bhuvi Bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore it is more relishable. Therefore those who are rasik bhaktas, those who are relishing the nectar of Bhagavatam, the nectar of Krishna Bhakti, they should taste the nectar of Bhagavatam. So another reason is that the glorification, chant the name of Krishna, glorify Krishna. So it's natural that the devotees, they glorify Krishna in various ways, by chanting His names and by speaking about His, discussing about His qualities, how He is. You're chanting around? Chanting around? You're chanting around? Jap karchiz. To কি করে শুনছিস? যদি ক্লাস শুনবে ওই তো কি করে একই সময় জব করতে পারবে? That is natural for devotee to glorify. So Bhagavatam, that is the glorification of Krishna's pastimes. And so many books have been written. Vedic literature, all the Vedic literature is meant for glorification of Krishna. But there is specifically within the Vedic literature, there is Vaishnava literature. Much of which is written later also. Because devotees, they go on writing. There's so many. Even now, so many devotees are writing so many books. Glorification is natural to glorify Krishna and His devotees. His devotees represent Krishna. This spontaneous function of the jiva in the liberated state is to glorify Krishna. It's a natural thing. So this will go on. The sound, all sound, that is meant for glorification of Krishna. So that we should practice. With our tongue, you can use the tongue to go to hell. Charamadhi jiva ati lobhanai shidoi mati. Among all the senses, the tongue is very voracious and difficult to control. So the tongue can take us to hell. The tongue has two functions, speaking and tasting. So we can speak all rascal nonsense, and we can eat hamburgers, shish kebab, onions, garlic, tea, coffee. Or we can use our tongue to glorify Krishna and take Krishna Himself. That is proper use of the tongue. So the tongue that can take us to Krishna can take us to Him. We have to train the tongue to take us to Krishna by speaking about Krishna, chant Hare Krishna and speak about Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any question? Without Krishna, nothing can exist. That's correct, yeah.
So how kind of confidence
well, if they achieve perfection, yeah.
How do they realize Krishna?
How can we realize Krishna is the super soul within our heart? Well, if we realize that He's Bhagavan, then Bhagavan means that He's everywhere, He's everything. He's in our heart. How do we understand about Krishna? From Shastra. We hear from Shastra, we accept. That's it. Yeah. So for one who can control the mind, the super soul is already reached. But devotees, the yogis, they only think of super soul. One thing, sir, don't mind. Hare Krishna. You're writing, but this book, your picture is Krishna. So we don't write, we don't use that. You can write on something else. So they're striving to see the super soul. But a devotee very easily understands the presence of Krishna everywhere. Just by hearing, you hear how Krishna is in everything, is everywhere. Automatically, devotee, that's Krishna consciousness. You become conscious of Krishna everywhere. Especially devotees who have many difficulties or they take many risks in preaching, they can appreciate the presence of Krishna. Just like if you're selling books, someone doesn't take, they don't know to take, and then suddenly their mind changes, and you can understand that the super soul dictated to them. Many times we have that experience, isn't it? In preaching. Baladev Vidyabhushan, what is his importance? He's Acharya. The importance is unlimited. He wrote a commentary, Gauriya Vaishnava commentary on Vedanta Sutra called Govinda Bhasha. At that time there was some opposition. Some people, they were saying that Gauriya Vaishnava is not a bona fide sampradaya. There's no commentary. Where is your commentary on Vedanta Sutra? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Srimad Bhagavatam as the natural commentary. But they didn't accept. So then he took inspiration from Govinda deity. And within 1 week, I think it was, 3 days, he wrote a whole commentary, which is not possible. Unless you're being dictated to directly by Govinda. So he's mostly remembered for that. For his commentary. Also, this Bhagavad Gita as it is, this is based on Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary. There are two major Gauriya Vaishnava commentaries on Gita. One is Baladev Vidyabhushan's, and one is of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this is based on Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary. You had a question?
Whether a devotee who has underwent this Krsna householder life has the advantage of releasing Madhurya Rasa?
Grihastha life is Madhurya Rasa? No. That is the Pratibimba, the perverted reflection of Madhurya Rasa. If you see all the cinema advertisements, you can't avoid seeing. They show the young men and the young women dancing. This is imitation Madhurya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa, that is on the transcendental platform, beyond material lust. In this material world, that rasa is there, but that is perverted, because if the man is taking the wife as an object of sense enjoyment, or vice versa, then that is the cause of illusion, that is the cause of bondage in the material world. The Madhurya Rasa, the dealings of Krishna with the gopis of Vrindavan and the Dwarka Ranis, that is on the transcendental platform. There's no birth or death. There's no illusion. There's a very big difference. The attempt to enjoy conjugal life in this material world is the cause of material bondage. That is the cause of repeated birth and death and suffering. So household life, that is meant for responsible activity in Krishna consciousness. Definitely some maya will do that in almost all cases, of thinking that I am the enjoyer. But it's called grihastha ashram. It means in that grihastha situation, you're supposed to gradually overcome the tendency for sense enjoyment. One is supposed to enter the grihastha ashram, have children, bring them up in Krishna consciousness, and then come out. Having discharged your family responsibility, you should take vanaprastha and eventually sannyas. That is the proper idea. What's this question? In his book, Srila Prabhupada says that the modern concept of sexual enjoyment through contraceptives is demoniac in nature. It's not exactly modern. The concept of sexual enjoyment, in Gita Krishna says that dharma viruddha kamosmi, what is that? Dharma viruddha bhutishu? What is that verse? Dharma viruddha kamosmi. Dharma viruddha bhutishu kamosmi bharadashana. Krishna says that sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, that is representation of Krishna. Now, contraceptives is demoniac in nature. Why is it? The Family Planning Commission of the government agency also encourages it. Well, if it's coming from the government, you can imagine it's demoniac. The government is also encouraging slaughterhouses. They're also encouraging liquor. You think everything that comes from the government is... You see, in Gita, Krishna speaks about the Daiva Sampati and Asuric Sampati. So you think the government is, they're all Daivi Sambad Vinokshaya, they're all on the path to liberation by... No, not at all. Modern governments are all Rakshasas. Because the government's promoting it, it should be good. Automatically it's good. That's the problem. People have trust in the wrong thing. They have trust in the government instead of having trust in the Acharya, instead of having trust in Krishna. Contraceptive means, what does contraceptive do? It stops. What is the function of sex life? It's natural to have children, isn't it? The result of sex life is children. That's why in civilized society, sex life is undertaken very carefully. Within marriage is arranged very carefully. And even before procreation, there will be astrological calculation. What is the correct time? The parents, they should have purificatory ceremony, so your consciousness is very pure, so they produce good offspring. But the modern idea is just enjoy. And we don't want to have children, therefore contraceptive. Or if you forget to use the contraceptive, abortion. This is demoniac, because that sex life means that's supposed to give a chance. First thing is supposed to give a chance to one jiva to take birth. You're denying that. Just like if the government allots you an apartment and someone forcibly steps you from under it, just like that, it's wrong, it's not correct. Another thing is that the sex is just being used for some physical enjoyment, which the animals are doing. In that way you're spoiling your human life. Human life is meant for understanding Krishna. If you want to enjoy sex more and more, then why be a human being? Because the monkeys, they can enjoy much better. Then Krishna will reward you in your next life. You can take birth as a monkey. Why should you be a human being? If you want sex, then you're in the wrong body. If you want sex more and more, whether you become a pigeon or a donkey, you're in the wrong body. So you'll get the next life of this body. You have to understand that why are we here? Why are we in this world? Why are we suffering? What is the cause of bondage? How to get free from this bondage? Modern life, they're giving so much wrong propaganda. And people are neither happy now, nor is their future very auspicious. They're not happy now. You see, there was this rascal, Freud. Sigmund Freud. He had the idea, he was an Austrian speculator. So he had the idea that we have so many problems because we repress our desires. So we have sexual desires, but we don't express them, we repress them. And according to him, this caused psychosis, or it caused mental disturbance. So his idea was that we should just give up all these stigmas and just be free about sex, be open and do it. And then they invented contraceptives, and it became, then you think, all right, we can have free sex and no children, then why bother getting married or any such thing? But people are not happy about it, rather they have more problems. Because ultimately sex doesn't satisfy you. Just like you're asking Madhurya Ras, that's what you think before you get married. Everyone's thinking, before they get married, they're thinking, I will enjoy Madhurya Ras, but actually family life is full of problems. Who's married here? So who thinks family life is no problems, everything's very easy, everything's very nice, no problems? Who thinks? In any condition of life, yes. But married life means more problems. Children are the natural result of sex life. Why they're having contraceptives? Because children mean problem. You have to earn money, work very hard to support them. You can't sleep at night if they're screaming. There's so much, generally among householders, there's so much rivalry and tension and so much diplomacy and so many things. The subtle laws of nature subtle laws of nature revealed, yes? It's revealed from Shastra. It's revealed. How is it revealed? Through Shastra. Kaya karma kartrutve hetu prakriti ruchite purusha sukha dukhanam ruchitve hetu ruchite. This is revealed. What is the cause? That is described especially in 13th chapter of Gita. That the cause of actions and reactions, how it's carried out in this material world through material nature. But the result of happiness is so-called happiness and distress. That is, the ultimate cause is the desire of the individual jiva. So if you want to have the laws of nature revealed, you study these books. That's how it's revealed. Not that you are sitting and all of a sudden you get some lightning bolt in your head. You study Shastra. Then you can understand. Yeah, one more question.
Shastra said that there were two roads.